AJ Lee will return to WWE. This is something that many professional wrestling fans believe will happen, and it is for good reason. Much like her partner in life, CM Punk, AJ Lee has had a very prolonged hiatus from WWE and the wrestling limelight in general. The last time AJ Lee wrestled in WWE, or any wrestling company for that matter, was back in 2015 in one of her final appearances in WWE in the fallout of what people thought was CM Punk's final exit from the company. However, over the last decade or so, with so much happening from Punk going to AEW to AJ Lee at one point doing an interview with Renee Paquette and even hinting towards a potential return in that company, to now CM Punk being back in the fold permanently with WWE, it does beg the question whether or not we think AJ would show up. And as I said before, I do think that will end up happening. And it's not just because it seems like this is a perfect storm, but it's because it truly is one. One of the main things that AJ Lee was able to do in her heyday in WWE was change the direction of the women's division. Before her arrival on the scene, the WWE Divas division was pretty much still in full effect. It was a very long ways from just bra and panties matches on TV, but it was still not seen to the level of the WWE male division, and AJ Lee did a lot in changing that perception. And it was not only because of her undeniable talent in the ring, but also because she had been put in some of the most major angles in the company at the time and was at that point one of their key stars. In 2012, Lee found herself in the midst of the world title scene where CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, and Kane were all not only fighting for the WWE Championship, but also seemingly fighting for her attention. And this only was doubled down when she was named the Raw General Manager and was given authority over the entire roster. This led to her getting more and more screen time and more comfortable on the mic. And one thing that was very true about women talent in that era, they were not given much leeway on the mic, especially to the degree that AJ Lee was. And it's not only a testament to her ability that she was able to keep up and actually evolve that role over time from one of a GM into being the star of that women's division, but it also shows you how far her talent went into changing the perception amongst the WWE brass of what women's wrestling could be in that company. You combine that with one of the most dominant Divas Championship reigns that WWE has ever seen, and AJ Lee more than left her mark in WWE, and it's precisely why you have so many fans clamoring for her return now in 2025. And when you look at how far women's wrestling has come, from the women's evolution to stars like Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, and others just dominating the scene, and with a new crop of talent that includes the likes of Cora Jade, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, and someone who many people believe will be the reason why AJ Lee returns, Roxanne Perez. Now, Roxanne Perez has made a career in her own right. She is one of the youngest world champions in the history of professional wrestling, holding the Ring of Honor World Championship at the age of 19. And to see how far she's come is worth its own video. But AJ Lee versus Roxanne Perez, for multiple reasons, seems to be the matchup. And it's not only because there's so many parallels between the two, with not just the way that they wrestle, the way that they come across, but also one specific person that both women have in some way been associated with. Obviously, CM Punk is the husband of AJ Lee, and one of the people that he has actually taken under his wing as a mentor over the last couple of years has been Roxanne Perez. And for that reason, there is ripe storyline potential for them to potentially bring in AJ Lee as a foil to Roxanne Perez to stay away from CM Punk. Because Roxanne Perez may be trying not only to learn from CM Punk, but also manipulate and use him. And I think that's the story you tell. And it doesn't need to be overtly romantic or anything like that, but it could be a scene where AJ Lee is maybe a little bit overprotective of her husband and what he's doing and how exactly he's losing sight of what the goal is. See, for CM Punk, when he came back to WWE, he noted that his goal was to make money and win championships. And ever since he's come back in, while it's been great to see him at the Performance Center and it's been great to see him doing all these wonderful things, there is a bit of a story to be told of CM Punk maybe losing sight of what's important and losing sight of a world championship and a WrestleMania main event that he hasn't been able to get. And I think there's storyline potential to maybe say that Punk needs to focus less on mentoring young talent and more on actually achieving the goals that him and AJ Lee set out to do. And you combine that with the fact that many people kind of believe that Roxanne Perez is the modern day era version of AJ Lee. I think it makes all the sense in the world for those two to be the ones to create that magic and bring AJ Lee back in. And not only will it be a wonderful moment, not only will it be a monumental occasion, but it will also give AJ Lee a chance to do something that we all want for her, and that is close her career out in a way that befits her legacy. AJ Lee did not necessarily end on the greatest terms with WWE in 2015, and they did not necessarily give her the send-off that you would expect of a major talent. And now is WWE's chance to do that, and do that in a meaningful, profound, and star-studded way. And whether it's Roxanne Perez, whether it's potentially another newcomer like Stephanie Vacour, Julia, or maybe a well-established star like Natalya, Becky Lynch, or otherwise, AJ Lee's return to WWE looks more and more likely every single day. As far as what they will do when she finally does appear, we'll have to see. But I can tell you this, she's gonna light it up.